All right, welcome back, everyone. It's lovely to see you all. And we'll start by getting straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state however you normally do that. So by repeating your word or phrase, or using your anchor, or imagining holding your subject in your arms in a hug. Go into your state and start to feel your heart opening. Feel that expansion feeling in your heart. And if ever you can't feel that or it's very weak, home in on all the things you love about your subject, all the things you appreciate about them. And as you do that, feel the feeling of your heart expanding. And now imagine that light or energy shining out from your heart. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. And now imagine filling each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body with that same light, that energy. Love each cell just for existing. Very good. And now imagine filling the little you with that same light, that energy, yourself as a child, any age, from the tips of their toes to the top of their head and out to their fingertips. Love that child just for existing. And see that child filled with that power, shining out from them. And now imagine that power, that light, that energy overflowing from that little you and filling your whole childhood and everything and everyone in it, shining the light into any darkness. Love it all anyway. Good job. And now allow that light or energy to fill everyone who's on the call today. And open your own heart to receive that love from everyone else. Pure, unconditional love just for existing. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes if you have them closed. And let's find out how everyone's doing. There was something in the chat before we started, and so it says, my target today is to do with Odille's post today. So that's my post in the Facebook, on my Facebook profile today about charging your value, asking for a proper salary, stroke money. Maybe Odille could talk about her post just a bit. So I'll do that first. So the post I posted was about some advice I was given a few years ago, and that really helped to change my perception and my perspective of charging, because I had, I didn't like to charge. I would give things away for free, and I was really uncomfortable with charging. Now, I had a lot of subconscious programming, childhood memories that supported those limiting beliefs about charging, and I've spoken about those in other sessions. So I changed those, but in addition to that, someone said to me, charge charge properly for your services and products so that you can then afford to do pro bono for those who really need it. And that completely changed my perspective, because it means that if you're charging a fair price for what you do, whatever that is, then you can afford to do things for free or cheaper for those who really need it, rather than just not charging anybody properly. And that is why because we do charge properly for those who work one-to-one with us and buy our products, we charge a fair price. That enables us to do these sessions, for example, for free, and all the other free content we have out there. So that was what that post was about. So it's getting that, and I hope that helps others as well. So if you're in a position where you're not, you feel uncomfortable charging, two things. Number one, understanding consciously and intellectually that when you charge the people who can pay it, then you will be able to afford to, do pro bono or do it cheaper for those who really need it and can't afford it. In addition to that, when people pay something, of course, they value it more. So, which means it's not about them valuing it, it's about them getting the benefit from it because they value it. So that's a second really important point. And then, of course, the third one is to change the childhood memories that are supporting it. And the way I did that, the same as what we advise for everybody. How do you know it's a problem? So in my case, it was, I feel uncomfortable charging anybody for anything. And then how does it feel? I feel cringy. It feels, I feel scared whenever I try to invoice someone. And then where in your childhood? And there were several different references for it. So one of them I've mentioned before, which is if you ask, you don't get, the manners thing, being taught manners as a child, you wait to be offered, which means that then when I went to charge and ask for money or invoice someone, my subconscious was referring to the so-called fact that if you ask, you won't get it. So it was triggering stress chemicals, and I didn't know that that's what it was. There's that, and then there was also feeling unworthy and a whole lot of things like that. So I hope that clarifies, but if not, and I hope that's the explanation you were wanting. If not, just let us know. Let me know if you need more clarification or you have more questions. All right, so going round to check in with everybody. So Sue, how are you today?
I'm actually in quite a good space, I think.
Good.
Yesterday not, but today I am, and that's how it goes.
Excellent. Yes, and that's a great example of how it is, it's never a straight line. It's up and down, and the thing is what we do during the downs make them less dramatic. So excellent. Good. And do you have any questions or targets for today?
I was thinking about that earlier. And I had some stuff, but I can't remember what it was, so it couldn't have been that important.
Well, if it comes up during...
Now that you're talking about that whole charging thing, because I've been doing a portrait photography course, an online one, and she talks a lot about self-value and energy and all sorts of stuff like that, which was quite cool.
Yes.
And I was actually sort of like getting myself sort of prepared to launch myself just before this whole COVID shenanigans started.
Mm-hmm.
And I was feeling a little bit more confident than I have before, but it's that same thing. It's like, you can't get out your box. You just stay there in your little box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you have any questions or targets for today?
Well, it would be quite cool to actually realize my value, my worth, I suppose.
Good. Yes.
Because that's what it basically is.
Absolutely. And
that I do have a place, and that I do have a place, and I do have probably maybe something really, really good to offer. And then I go like, oh, no, you don't. It's that little chirpy thing that sits there.
And so figure out whose voice that is. Who's saying, no, you don't?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's me.
Well, everything is us.
I know, I know. But it's sort of like...
But who is it representing? So who from your childhood had some kind of similar attitude where, no, you can't, you don't want to, don't be full of yourself, or whatever that feeling is. And you don't have to think of it now, but that's where you want to go and change that person, whoever represents that, because you didn't learn that all by yourself.
No.
So somebody taught you that. Not, either directly or indirectly, you learned it somehow. So yeah, so figure that out and change those childhood memories to the opposite, positive, empowering. And because there is so much you can do with your photography during this time, during this pandemic. And just one of the things that came to mind as you were talking was taking photographs around your home of things close up, and doing whatever you do. You do such beautiful work in the editing of the photographs, doing whatever it is, and then getting people to guess what it is. So things like that. There's a lot you can do, and then of course selling the photographs as well.
That's the other thing.
Yes, I figured it would be. So as you change that perception. And because imagine if you were selling your photographs and people were paying the value for them, how much good could you do with that money? Apart from obviously taking care of yourself and your family, but also you could do all kinds of things. You could donate photographs to institutions that need it, or raffle them, give them to somebody.
Well, I mean, I think my biggest thing is actually to get into a museum, is to do, that's what I've been wanting to do, or to do a book for a long time, is to do like a series of photographs, particularly of people.
Fantastic.
And in black and white, and very sort of like, I suppose, quite serious in a way, but a picture that tells a story, whether it's just through the expression on their face or if it's through addition of other things. And that is my ultimate thing, is to get into an exhibition in a museum. There's one just over the hill that's quite prestigious, and that is my aim. And then I go like, oh God, who do you think you are? You're never going to get there.
That's the bit that you grab and change, whatever that is.
I know.
Because it's not real.
Where it comes from.
It's not real. So then, if you can't, so this is for everybody as well. If you don't know where it comes from, just start creating new childhood memories that are the opposite, and you'll soon figure out where it comes from. Because as you do that, if your subconscious can't, if there's contradicting evidence, you will start to remember something and go, that's what it was. And then you can change that. But start from scratch, where, create brand new memories. You came from a fabulous family who were successful. They were photographers, however that is. And you were revered as a child and treasured and all of that, whatever the opposite is. And then if you don't get any contradicting memories coming up, great, then just practice those.
Well, I get contradictory things coming up, like as you're saying this, my mind's just going flip, flip, and I'm getting lots of little things.
Right.
And the person I think who's impacted me most in, and that's actually just recently, is a chap by the name of Platon. I don't know if you're familiar with him. If you've got Netflix, go to the series called Abstract, and then I think it's the 5th or the 7th episode, and it's about Platon and his photography. Flippin' hell.
Okay, but
it's just about life.
Yes, but remember that it's the child. You can't experience anything now that you don't have in your childhood. So if you can't find it in your childhood, that's okay. Just go as far as you can. So what I want to get to is, as I was saying those things and those thoughts were coming up, grab one of them and go, how do I know that? How do I know that's true?
So like if this person, his whole essence just inspires me.
Okay.
It's like, I feel it in my, like, from my solar plexus up to my throat. He now, really, really moves me.
Good.
So
now put that in your child.
How can I interpret that?
Put that in your childhood. Put him in your childhood. And everything, get him to teach the little you, whatever he knows, or whatever it is that's here now that's inspiring you. Take it and make it part of your childhood. Create brand new memories where you were his apprentice, or he taught you, or however you do that, doesn't matter, as long as it creates that same feeling in the little you.
Sue, you may also want to just practice borrowing that feeling. So take a moment and step inside So however that photographer is being represented, just imagine stepping inside and feeling what it feels like to be him, how he would respond to the world, how he would be responding to your life situation. Just, borrow the feeling of being him and continue to practice that, because that's just you building new neural pathways and allowing yourself to be comfortable with that feeling, which feels different than what it feels like to be you most of the time. That you that feels like, oh, don't get out of your little box. That's not what he feels.
No.
So practice what it feels like to be expansive, to be creative, to be fearless, and to feel that, borrow that feeling, and just see it as a practice activity. You're just giving your brain and body the opportunity to practice what that feels like, and do it early, do it often, keep doing it.
Yeah, because it's also it's not only the photography. The photography is just like, that's who he is. It's his humanness.
There you go.
He's actually I don't know what it is really, but a humanitarian thing. That's what he is. He's
see your parents embodying those same qualities.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So
cool,
thank you too for sharing that. And I'm sure it will help others as well. So good job. And I'm glad you're here. All right. And Tina, hello. How are you today, Tina?
I'm good. Hello.
Hello.
I'm okay. I don't know what to say today.
Okay, that's all right. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna soon leave, like 11:30. I have appointments, so I have to go.
All right.
And, yeah, I don't know. It's everything okay, I hope.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're here, at least for a little bit, right?
Okay,
Good job, sweetheart. And that's beautiful color you're wearing as usual.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Katrina. Hi, Katrina.
Hi, Odille.
Hey.
Today, yes, my update. Okay, so from yesterday, I felt as if a hurricane rolled over me energetically, but now, thank God, I'm back now in a playful, happy state once again.
Good.
And the sun's shining.
Yes, and well done. Well done for getting through that.
Yeah, that was great what Steve, see at the very end, well, all of it. But that was super powerful what he added at the end. For my brother to be, in his eyes, a little princess.
Yes.
Remember that? Yeah, so I've rewritten the both memories, and
good.
Yeah.
Yay. Well done. What a great example you are. You're fantastic. And thank you so much for sharing it all, because it will help others as well.
Okay. And I just have one wee tiny question, which is, if the program is, well, in the past, it used to be, you don't make me special, then I end up being offended.
Right.
And I want to change that to, you don't make me special. And then, is this the new thinking? I'm okay. You're not in the space to do so. So I'm going to make me feel special anyway.
Okay, so almost. So well done for taking it to that step. What you want eventually is that you are special. So no one can make you or not make you special, because you already are. And you don't even need to make yourself special, because the fact that you exist is you're already special. So it's more of a knowing. So this is what I've said before with people who want to get more confidence, is that people who are confident, who are authentically confident, genuinely confident, don't believe they're confident. They just know. They just know that they're worthy, or they're clever, or they're talented, or whatever. It's just it's a knowing. So there's no belief involved, actually. And certainly there's no needing to make anything happen. So as you change those childhood memories to prove you're special, and you practice that new childhood that proves you're special, you will automatically know it. And they won't, whether somebody treats you one way or another way, it won't make any difference at all. And this is very powerful, because I used to be very insecure, and I used to constantly try and please people and be worried about what people thought of me. And there was so much there. It was exhausting. But now, I'm really genuinely not worried, because number one, I've changed those memories. But number two, I'm also always in a state of unconditional love. So if someone appears to be angry, or I think they may react a certain way, I love it all anyway. And you don't need anything else from anyone else, because everybody's got their own stuff going on. And no matter how much we try to please someone else or do something that we think then they'll treat me as special, anything like that, we cannot, they will experience it the way they experience it, regardless of what we do. So the bottom line is, you're almost there. And now just know that you're special, and keep creating proof in your childhood. So keep creating new childhood memories that absolutely prove you are the princess, you are special, you are valued. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, super. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. You're very welcome, sweetheart. Good job. And Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Hey.
You can hear me good?
Yes, good. Thank you.
Yay. Okay, so on page 86, I'm going to read to everyone like children. So this is really important. I resonated with this, so I hope someone else gets it. So this is your book, and changing those memories will automatically result in a change in your current and future experiences, because your subconscious will be referring to different evidence that you are worthy, creative, loved, safe, secure, clever, intelligent, good, talented, valuable, respected, confident, interesting, wonderful, healthy, energetic, inspired, productive, and a leader, charismatic, and everything else you want to be. That is so beautiful. I just love that. I thought I'd read that to everybody.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. And, we wrote that book a while ago, so it's good to remember it as well, because I've forgotten most of it. So that was a good reminder for me as well. That's good.
Yeah, it's very, very good. So I really love it. And then the other day I saw you, and I forgot to tell you this, I saw you as it appeared to me, because I do meditation. So I was in the love state, and I remind myself to be in a posture and smile a lot, because that really helps a lot to remind, it's like, if I'm going like this, wait a minute.
Absolutely.
So I saw you when I was meditating, but as a little girl, it was so trippy. But anyway, I saw you, and this is a beautiful thing, on an album cover with like the best award, like a Grammy, kind of thing. And then you had your hands out like this with this ginormous rainbow coming out of it. I was like, wow, that was cool. So I had to tell you.
That's lovely. What a lovely image.
So I was like, yay.
That's lovely. And I'm going to level that up a little bit for you and tell you that what you saw, although you understood it as me, was also you.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh.
So it's actually a part of you.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So
that's going to make me cry.
But that makes it even more powerful, and it's absolutely true.
Oh, that's sweet. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I'm so blessed. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Lisa. Love you. All right. And then to Swasti. Hi, Swasti. Oh, so I see you. So Swasti says, hi, Odille. Thank you for your help yesterday with the memories. It felt really good to rehearse them. I just had a couple of questions today. How do you find hidden memories that you know are there but can't seem to find? Okay, good. How can you be sure if you have found all the memories linked to this thing you're trying to improve in your life? Example, feeling worthy. Or will the memories come to your conscious mind because you've been doing the superpower, etc.? Also, I can seem to send unconditional love to people when looking at them, but I can only do so in looking at them, but can only do so in my head. Also, I find it hard to fill a room in my head with that white light. Okay, good Good questions, Swasti. Thank you for asking them. So the first thing is, how do you find hidden memories that you know are there, but you can't seem to find them? So that's a really good question. And the detective work for finding memories. Now, with the Remmert method, we don't put a lot of focus on the archaeology, on digging up old memories and finding them and looking for them. So if you can't find hidden memories, if you can't find memories, that's okay. Just create brand new ones from scratch. And either your subconscious will automatically change others that you don't even know, because most of our memories we can't, the vast majority of our memories, of course, we can't remember consciously because there's been so much in our lives. But if your subconscious contains evidence that contradicts the new memory and that it cannot change automatically, you will suddenly remember it. So an example, if I say, okay, I can't remember any memories of feeling trapped. So I don't know what this trapped feeling, where it comes from, but I'm going to start creating new childhood memories of, I was always allowed to do whatever I wanted to. And, my parents were free and easy, and it was like, come on, let's all have fun. And as I'm doing that, I may then suddenly remember a memory of school being held in, in detention or something like that, or being bullied that I hadn't remembered before. And then I can change that. So with the hidden memories, if you've asked the questions, how do I know, how does it feel, and where in my childhood did I feel that? And remembering it may or may not have to do with the same topic. That's the very important bit, is it may be a completely different topic. And you've asked, if this was a person, who would it be? Those kind of questions, or what's the worst thing about it? Those kind of things. And if you can't find any memories, just go, right, so now I'm just going to create new ones. So we don't do a lot of digging around looking for bad memories. Does that help to answer that question?
Yeah, thank you. So
Yeah.
I was so with the anxious thing that you helped me yesterday,
Yes.
I realized that was like a different kind of anxiousness throughout the day versus kind of like the academic anxiousness. So that's where it came from. Like, do I have to find it now, or will the memories just come to me?
So so tell me how you knew you were anxious.
Well, I get sweaty. Like my palms get
Your palms get sweaty. Okay.
Yeah.
And anything else? Is that the
dry throat?
Dry throat. Very good. And any emotions?
Yeah, my heartbeat increases, and I can like almost hear the heartbeat.
Yes. Okay. So that's really good. And any thoughts that come up as that happens?
Yeah, like, so I'll just give you an example right now. Like an hour ago, I was like, I'm going to be late to the ESC class. And I have that a lot. Like, I'm going to be late to this. Well, I know I'm not going to be late because I have half an hour. But, oh, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late. And I don't know where that comes from.
Okay, very good. So how does it feel when you know you're going to be late? What's wrong with being late?
I think it's something to do with punishment.
Good.
You're going to be punished if you're late, like because I went to an Indian school, and punishment's one of the main components of like teaching children self-discipline.
Right, South African too. So same in the South Africa. Well, when I was in school anyway. Okay, so so that's definitely, you want to change that. And everyone else, if you were ever punished for anything, anywhere, by anyone, you want to change that straight away. Even if you feel, well, they were justified, or I understand why they did it, or anything like that, because your subconscious does not understand. And your subconscious just takes it as fact. So, so definitely change the punishments. And you can do a stepping stone, if you like, depending on what. So for everybody as well, pick one memory of being punished to represent all of the times you were punished. And for each type of punishment, so of course, if it was corporal punishment, or you were stuck in a corner, or whatever it was, pick one memory to represent all of those types. And then do a stepping stone where you did whatever you were punished for, but you weren't punished for it. The adult or whoever punished you said, it's okay, don't worry about it. It's really not that serious. we'll just remember for next time, or however would be kind and compassionate. And then the final memory is that you never did whatever it was in the first place. So let's say, you didn't do your homework. This is one of mine. You didn't do your homework, and so you were smacked on the hand for not doing your homework, let's say. So the stepping stone would be, you didn't do your homework, but instead of smacking your hand on the hand, the teacher's saying, that's okay. Maybe you need more help. Perhaps, how can we help you, or whatever it is, being kind. And then the final memory is, you always did your homework. Like me, I now, in my memories, I never did homework actually originally, but now I always did homework, and it was always perfect. And the teacher was always going, well done, Odille. Now I want everyone to be like Odille. Okay, so punishment, that explains a lot. And that's the case for everyone. If you were punished, especially unfairly or physically, or emotionally, absolutely, that will contribute to, to ongoing anxiety issues.
Okay, so if it's hard to change a punishment, then do you have any advice for that?
Absolutely, yes. So if it's hard to change any memory, the first step is noticing what happens when you try. So when you try to change it, what happens? Does the visual not change, or are you feeling the feelings? Are you feeling different? What's happening when you try to change it? And you want to answer that?
Yeah, it's the same visual as it originally happened, so I can't change it. And the feelings of anxiousness come back.
Right. Okay, so have you got might as well do this now quickly. Have you got a memory in your mind of?
Yeah, I think I got one now.
Good job.
Just as I was talking through. I think it's me not being able to understand something when my dad was explaining it to me in maths when I was 7 or 8 years old.
Yes.
And then him getting angry at me.
Very good. Okay, that'll do it. That makes perfect sense. All right, so little 7 or 8 year old Swasti. And when you think of that memory now, how strong are the emotions? 0 to 10. 0, I can't feel anything. 10, it's very strong.
I would say 7.
7, good job. All right, so now let's go to the superpower. And you have a subject for your superpower exercise? Very good. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and go into that state. And everyone else on this in this group and who's watching the recording, you can follow along, do one of your own if you like. So go into that superpower state, use your color if you need to, and think of your subject. And Swasti, can you feel the superpower? Can you feel that state?
Mm-hmm.
Good job. And it's nice and strong?
Yes.
Very good. Now press pause on that. Let's go back to 7 or 8 year old you with your dad and the maths. And it was a 7. Where are the emotions now?
Probably 6.
6, good. Notice it. Press pause on that now, and let's go back to the superpower state. What's your color? What's the favorite color you use?
White.
White. Very nice. Okay, so you're surrounded by that beautiful white. Maybe it's a little bit shimmery or shiny. And which subject do you use?
A mountain.
A mountain, okay. Do you have an animal or a person that you love without negative attachments?
Yeah, my brother.
Your brother, very good. What's your favorite memory of your brother?
Well, he's a boy, so he wore a dress. That's funny.
Okay, very good. So I want you to think about him wearing the dress. How old was he when he wore the dress?
2.5.
Oh, okay. So imagine hugging that little 2.5-year-old in his dress and all the things you love about him. How cute he is. How fun he is. You got that?
Yep.
Good job, sweetheart. Now press pause on that. Let's go back to the other memory. So 7 or 8-year-old and with your dad and the maths, and it was a 6. Where are the emotions now?
I would say a 4 now.
Very good, Swasti.
Yep.
And press pause on that. Let's go back to your brother. What's your brother's name?
Seshant.
Seshant?
Yeah.
What a beautiful name. You both of you have beautiful names. All right. So holding Seshant in your arms, in a hug, and how cute he is, his little face, his little dress, and how lovely that and fun that was. You got that? Very good. Press pause on that. Let's go back to the other memory. So 7 or 8 years old with the maths and your dad, and it was a 4. Where is it now?
I think it's good now.
Good. Okay. So now I want you to change it to where in the first instance, your dad is explaining really nicely. When you can't understand, he then repeats it in a way that you do understand. Can you do that? And you don't have to go into the details, just know that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Very good. And is he smiling and explaining patiently and nicely?
No, still cross.
Okay, very good. So press pause on that. Let's go back to Seshant. Okay, very good. And holding him in your arms, cute little thing that he is, and with his little dress. What color's the dress?
It's black with a collar.
Okay, all right. And you're both surrounded by the beautiful white. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Good job. And press pause on that. Let's go back to the other memory. And I want you to see if you can see your dad now smiling and patient.
Yeah.
Good job. Very good, Swasti. And now I want you to, so that's the stepping stone memory. And now I want you to change it to where you understood it. In fact, you are explaining it to him. And he's very proud of you.
I can't seem to change his eyebrows for some reason, like, you know, like the downward crossed eyebrows.
Okay. Tell me if you can do this.
For some reason.
Okay. Tell me if you can do this. So put a red nose on him. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Good. All right. And what happens to his eyebrows when you put the red nose on him?
Yeah, they become normal.
Good job. Very good. So he's wearing a red nose and you're explaining the maths to him.
Now he's proud.
There you go. Good job, sweetheart. All right. So I'm going to move on, but I want you to, while I'm speaking to the others, I want you to play that new memory 3 times in a row. Okay? And then make a little note of it, just a few words to remind yourself, and that'll be your new memory to practice until it's established.
Okay.
All right. Good job, Swasti. Oh, I didn't answer the rest of your, did I answer the rest of your?
It's fine. You can go to everybody else first.
All right. Okay. And I'll come back to that if necessary.
If you have.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Yimin, welcome. How lovely to have you with us. This is your first time. It's lovely to see you. So do you have any questions or targets to begin with?
Are the targets referring to specific like things in like what happened to about events that happen, or is it more like targets in terms of the memory exercise?
So it can be anything. So it's usually something that's happening in your life right now that is bothering you or triggering you. And then what we'll do is we'll all aim at that to help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a recent one that happened today. So it's like through texting. So I remember that in the past, I had situation where I was texting someone and they just didn't reply after a while. And so today I was texting this person and it just like gave me the flashback and I felt anxious. And then I felt like, and then after that, something similar happened where the person wasn't like responding very, like it wasn't like putting in effort in the conversation. And then I felt like it's going to repeat from the past. So yeah.
Very good. That's a good one. So Steve, would you add that to the list, please? And Yimin, so in addition to us aiming at it today, what you can do as well is figure out how that feels when they don't text back or they don't put the effort into the conversation, whatever that is. Notice the feeling of it, and then in your childhood, where did you feel the feeling? And it may have nothing to do with texts or even conversations. It could be something different topic, same feeling. Change that and to the opposite, positive and empowering. So you want to be able to, you change that first, and then when you think about the text the texting situations now, and then make sure if there's anything left, keep doing that until you can think about what happened today and go, yeah, well, whatever. And then you know that you've changed that reference. So, but we'll aim at that today as well as a target. Thank you for sharing, sweetheart. And I'm so glad you're with us. Welcome. All right. And then Chris, how are you today?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Another lovely day, and The Infinite Monkey Cage. I think you know that series, Odille. The Infinite Monkey Cage. It's a radio series. I think you mentioned it.
So,
anyway, I was listening to The End of the Universe. So, an irreverent, but a scientifically irreverent look at the end of the universe with quantum mechanics and astrophysicists. It was Brian Cox and people like that. It was so funny.
Oh,
I was listening to it just before we came together. So that cheered me up. No, I didn't need cheering up. I'm in a good place. Just thank you very much. Due to everything we're doing, and this particularly what you and Steve are taking us through this time and holding our hands.
Good job. Well, it's our pleasure, and I'm so glad. And do you have a target for today?
Yeah, me as ever.
Okay.
But within, and also this morning when I was in Headspace, it reminded me of something you said about, Steve said about releasing expectations. Releasing expectations. That is so important for me.
Yes, and for me.
The biggie.
It was for me as well.
For many, isn't it?
And I think for a lot of people.
Yeah, so that could be my intention as well.
Have you got that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. And I've just seen Carrie posted here, update, my tailbone is not broken and it feels better today. Thank you guys for all the love. You're very welcome, Carrie, and that's wonderful news. I'm so glad to hear that. So I'm going to unmute you as well. And so how are you doing today? And do you have any questions or targets for today?
Yes, I do have a target. The target is Sarah's father.
Sarah's father,
It
okay.
seems like he's taken a deep dive off or rather into the crazy pool.
Okay.
He has these strange hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I can't really make heads or tails of it.
All right. Okay. So we will add that to the target list. And then in addition to that, and this is for you, but also for everyone else as well, it's very important that whatever's going on around you, that you take safety precautions. So if you are in danger or there's something medical going on, it's very important to then call the appropriate authorities or, professionals or whatever. So if you are in danger or there is something, seriously wrong with him, then I don't know who you would, but call whoever you would normally call. So, paramedics or helpline or whatever. So that is crucial for everyone. Always do that if you need to.
Yes.
Okay, so your physical safety is the top.
We are not in any danger.
Pardon?
I said we are not in any danger.
Okay, all right, okay. So and then in addition to that, we will put that on the target, and of course make sure that you're keeping yourself in that state as much as you can. And I know it's very challenging when you're dealing with stuff in real time, but as much as you can. All right.
Oh, and I also wanted to say I'm seeing a lot of synchronicities.
You're seeing a lot of?
I'm seeing a lot of synchronicities.
Oh, synchronicities. Oh, good. Good ones, I hope.
Yeah.
Good. Yay.
Like, for example, yesterday, when you started out by saying the stuff about people yelling at you,
Yes.
that was a strange synchronicity because I was thinking of bringing it up.
Okay. Oh, well, there you go. I'm a mind reader.
Yeah.
Good, sweetheart. I'm really glad, and keep staying on track. Keep maintaining that state as much as you can. Good job, Carrie, and thank you for sharing, love.
Yes.
All right, and then Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you back. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
I have a question. As you know, I've been doing the Superpower for a long time, but ever since the COVID and all that has come up, off and on, I can't get into the Superpower state anymore.
Okay. So what happens when you try?
And well, like I can get into like the zingy feeling, like I can get the energy bomb, but I don't feel the unconditional love anymore.
Okay.
And I tried changing to different topic, and I tried thinking about, because I know you've said in other videos to like think of all of the good things about that person, but it's not happening. Like for like the last 10 days, I can't do it.
Okay. So when you get into the feeling of love, is it when you try to imagine your subject not wanting to be with you? Is that the bit where?
No, it's before, when I try to feel the unconditional love in my heart. I can't feel the love. I just feel the energy, like a positive energy, but not love, like not the same kind of love that I used to feel.
Okay.
It like feels blocked. It feels like my heart is blocked.
Okay, very good. And so the answer to that is to love the block. Okay, so, and even if you can't feel it, just that's your intention. Just tell yourself, well, I love the block. I love everything no matter what. So when you can't feel the feeling, love the fact that you can't feel the feeling. When you can't feel love, love the fact you can't feel love. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Good. And then in addition to that, there may be childhood memories as well, of course. So you want to look at that as well and see that feeling of being blocked. Is this
from the unconditional love, you mean?
From anything. So the feeling of being blocked from, and it could be things like not allowed to feel, not allowed to express emotions, being held back by something or someone in your childhood. And so, as I say, different topic, could be a different topic, but same feeling, and then change those to the opposite, positive, empowering. But love the fact that you can't feel, that you love the block first. Do that first, and we can do that in the session. We'll add it to the list of targets if you could, Steve.
Perfect. And do you think it has something to do with having more stress chemicals in my, because of the?
Yes.
Any suggestions for that?
So so you're on your essential worker, right? And so
yes.
Yeah, and you work in a hospital? You're actually on the front line of this?
Yes. I don't work in a hospital. I have we have a store that is next to the hospital. So we have a grocery store next to the hospital. So we're in contact with everyone. Right.
Okay. Very good. And so the best thing to do for that is when you're not there, and we can do it today. So Steve, if you could add pre-paving for Tammy to the list as well, is to pre-pave it. So when you are here or at home, when you're not in the situation, pre-pave. So get into the state and then fill the whole thing with unconditional love. The store, and I know you were saying you can't feel it at the moment, set the intention. Just decide. And even if you just do it visually, it's full of light and love no matter what. Everything, everyone, including yourself, in that store and in the hospital and all around it, and do that before you go in. So do it, whenever you think of it, and then do it again before you go there, and then get into that state before you arrive. And see if see if you can keep getting into that state throughout the day, and it'll be up and down, and sometimes you won't be able to, but that's okay. It's just.
Well, I actually think that you already solved it, because when you said think of something from your childhood where you felt blocked from love.
Right.
Something came up. So
Very good. Good job,
Got
Tammy.
one.
Excellent. So you can
Yep.
change that. Good job, sweetheart.
Good.
And thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right, so I think that's everyone on camera. Going to check the chat to see if there's anything here. So have you got the target of charging your value? Have you got that on this, Steve? Thank you. And let's see if there's any other. There's a lot of nice comments, which is lovely. Very good. And okay, so I think if I've missed anything, let me know. But in the meantime, let's take a deep breath. Go into your superpower state, however you do that. You can do it with your eyes closed or open. And feel your heart opening. Feel that physical sensation in your chest as your heart expands. And allow that light or energy to shine from your heart, filled with love and appreciation for your subject. And now allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy. Now fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body with that same light or energy. Love each little cell just for existing. They exist purely to serve you. Love each one. Now fill your subject with that love, that light, that energy. Love your subject just for existing. Now imagine your subject doesn't want to be with you or is miserable or something, and keep them filled with that light, that energy anyway. Love them anyway, no matter what. Very good job. And now let's go to Sue. So fill Sue with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sue just for existing. Now allow that light or energy to fill Sue's self-worth and whatever references are there, and whether she is able to charge or do what she wants to do or not, love it all anyway, shining that light into any darkness. And allow that light or energy to fill the museum that Sue would like her photographs displayed in. Fill the whole place with that light, that energy. Whether Sue ends up with her photographs there or not, love it all anyway, exactly as it is. Very, very good. And now to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very, very good. And now over to Swasti. Fill Swasti with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Swasti just for existing. And any anxiety that Swasti feels, Fill that with that same light, that energy, that love, shining the light into darkness. Love it all anyway, no matter what. Very good. And now to Yimin. Fill Yimin with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Yimin just for existing. And the anxiety around the texting, whatever that issue is, whatever the references are, and the texts themselves, fill it all with that light, that energy. The person who's doing the texting, allow that light or energy to overflow from Yimin and fill them with that same light, that energy. Loving them anyway, no matter what, shining the light into any darkness. Loving it all anyway, this is the power. No matter what happens. Good job. And now over to Chris. Fill Chris with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Chris just for existing. Very good. And now to all expectations for Chris. So whether she has the expectations or doesn't, love it all anyway, no matter what those expectations are. Fill them all with that light, that energy, shining the light into the darkness. Love it all anyway. Very, very good. And now over to Carrie. Fill Carrie with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Carrie just for existing. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from Carrie and fill her daughter's father with that same light, that energy, from the tips of his toes to the top of his head and out to his fingertips. Love him just for existing, no matter what, whether he changes or not, shining the light into darkness. Love it all anyway. And now over to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Katrina just for existing. Now Katrina's ability to feel special, to be special, to know that she's special, whether she knows she's special or not, fill it all with that light, that energy, that love. Very good. And now to Tammy. Fill Tammy with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tammy just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from Tammy and fill her whole team and the store where she works, all the people and the whole place. Fill it all with that light, that energy, that love, loving everything and everyone exactly as it is without needing it to change, shining that light into darkness And no matter what happens, maintaining that light. So see Tammy going to work the next time she's at work, being filled with that light, that energy, and that protection hazmat suit, that energy hazmat suit that protects her and all her workers no matter what, all her team no matter what. And allow that light or energy now to overflow from the store where Tammy works and fill the surrounding area, including the hospital, everyone in it. Fill all of that with that light, that energy. Love it all, no matter what. This is your power. Good job. Very good. All right. And now open your own heart to receive even more love. Receive that love, that light, that energy from everyone else. And now receive it from me. Filling you with that light, that energy, loving you exactly as you are, no matter what. Feel that power. Allow yourself to feel that power. Very, very good. And now think of yourself later today. And no matter what you will be doing, no matter how you'll be feeling, love that version of you exactly as you are. Fill that version of you with that light, that energy, that love. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes if you haven't closed. And how's everyone doing? Any comments or questions before we leave? And a reminder that anyone who wants help with finding and changing childhood memories, our workshop on Saturday, our online workshop like this in Zoom on this coming Saturday, May 30th, is dedicated to that. So we will work with those who attend the workshop on finding those memories and changing those memories hands-on. So you'll actually do it during that workshop. So the link to that will be in the description of this video, and also it is on the resources site, the resources website, resources page rather, where you will find these videos. All right, some thank yous. You're very, very welcome. The issue of being or feeling special is also synchronicity. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Very good, Carrie. All right, so you're very welcome, everyone. And so now, same thing over, from now until tomorrow, practicing and sending love to each other. And of course, filling yourself first, and then sending it to everything and everyone around you. And don't forget how powerful it is to use inanimate objects as target practice to practice your skills and build those skills. All right, lots of love to all of you. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.